Hey guys, my name is Kevin. The polymorph video went pretty well, so I figured I would just come and share more of my thoughts on some different aspects of the game that I think could be improved on. But anyway, this video is about minions. I've thought about minions a lot, mainly because Myth is one of my favorite schools, and also Monstrology is one of my favorite mechanics in the game. So to start off, minions, they're pretty decent at lower levels just because every boss you fight can pretty much be just chipped down over time. You don't need a lot of setup when it comes to the early bosses. However, later on when bosses have more health and you need more blades, traps in order to kill them, then having a minion that just spams all the time is generally pretty terrible, especially since there's no way to stop them from doing what they're doing. I have this picture here. I've set up all these traps on the boss and I have all these blades. I'm about to hit him, but my minion's about to hit him with a troll, which I really don't want him to do, but there's no way for me to stop him unless I dismiss him. I mean, this situation is kind of niche just because there's no reason not to dismiss the minion just because I'm about to kill the boss. But I summoned the minion right before this happened just to show that it doesn't care what you have set up or what your plan is. It's just going to do whatever it wants. Yeah, normally in the fight you would have summoned the minion a lot sooner than when I summoned him. And every time you would try to trap, he would probably just take it. But yeah, that's the first thing that kind of sucks. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the targeting system. So in this video, the minion is targeting the first person, this damage box. However, after the boss hits me, that draws the aggression from the minion, and the minion's now attacking the boss, which if I was setting up for the boss and I had a bunch of traps but I wasn't ready to hit, that would really suck, because the first guy's almost dead and he's just switching targets for no reason. That's just how his AI works, but still, it's just a sucky AI pretty much. The last kind of bad thing, it doesn't really have anything to do with minions, but just like the minion support spells. So there's a few cards you can get. One of them from this dude Tisma in Crocotopia, and he sells just like a bunch of like myth minion support spells like shield minion, buff minion, siphon health, mend minion, draw power. The only kind of good one I can see here would be the shield minion one, the 70% shield, just because it's a abnormally strong shield, but just for the minion. So if you wanted to keep them alive, this is kind of the spell you'd want to use. Buff minion, I think, sucks just because you could just use a regular blade. Any minion you summon is going to be your same school, so you can just use a school blade on them. I think maybe if they buff this up to like 60 or 70%, just like the shield, I think then it would be like sort of usable, but this is just like terrible. Siphon health, you could argue that this is better than other healing spells just because it's 1 pip. You can have school pips anyway, so you can just do a life pip and then you can cast fairy for 1 pip pretty much, and that would just be better. You wouldn't have to sacrifice a minion and you'd be healed for the same amount. Mend minion, 350 for minion only. This one's alright, 1 pip to heal the minion a little bit. However, 350, especially in higher levels, is not that much. The minion's just gonna die, like 350 isn't gonna change that. Sacrifice minion for 2 pips, just pass. You'll get a power pip and you won't have to sacrifice your minion. The other spells you can get is from Croaky and Marleybone. He has pretty much the myth spells, but just for the other schools. Since I'm kind of talking about them now, having minion specific cards I think is still a good idea, but instead of like sacrifice the minion, you could just have direct minion. So direct minion to, say, like attack a specific enemy, direct minion to support a specific ally, stuff like that. I think that would be cool. So the first thing I hear when people are critiquing minions is they want a way to control the minion, and a lot of the times that comes to picking what cards the minion plays. So people would want to pick their cards and then pick the minions cards in like the same turn. However, even though I think it would be really cool and I think it would make minions be really good, you'd have to change the whole battle system just to do it, especially with Monstrology, because if you have to pick for every minion that you summoned, and with Myth that's 3 minions, there's no way you'd be able to do it in the 30-second time limit unless you knew exactly what you wanted to do for each minion. The only way I think that would actually be possible is if you had a limited selection of spells to pick from for the minion. So instead of 7 like a player, you would only be able to pick like 3. Just having only 3 options I think would speed up the process. I thought about it for a bit and I came to this solution. So the first thing would be making it so that you cast the card on the enemy that you want him to attack. Like if I had the golem minion and I wanted them to attack the henchman instead of the boss, I would just select the card and then select the enemy, or select the henchman. And the same goes if I wanted to summon him and him only attack, Falgaze here, I would just click on Falgaze, and then after he gets summoned, he would only attack, that guy. The second thing I wanted to add was a pass button. Now I wouldn't be against him trapping the boss, but let's say he was doing something I didn't like, you could just click pass, boom, and he passed, and now he won't do whatever he was doing. The second thing I wanted to add was these 2 buttons. So this is like an attack and this is support. So whenever you click attack, it'll bring up a targeting. You can target who you want him to attack. Let's say you can target the boss, and then it'll switch to targeting the boss with like attacks and stuff. And if you wanted to target the minion, then it would target the minion with like the key here. The second thing is support. You click the support button, it brings up the player and the minion, or however many people you have on this side. Then you could click you, it would support you. Or you could click the anyone else and then it would target them instead. So my main idea was when you click like the attack and then you do attack, then it'll only do like attacking spells. So it would only use attacks, blades, traps, and it would just target that person. If you did the support, then it would only use whatever supporting spells it had. However, I don't think this is good just because this minion here, the Troll Brute, I looked up its moveset. The only supporting card it has is Sprite. Now, since that's the case, when you use the support button, it would cast Sprite like every turn. Like if that's what it was limited to, then it would only cast Sprite like every turn. And I think that'd be kind of busted. So for these buttons, it would just be targeting. So in the program I made, it switches the card based on which one you used. But what would just happen is if you click the attack and then click on the guy, then it wouldn't change what he did now unless he did pass. But it would just pretty much make him the target. And if you did the support, then it would make whoever you're supporting the target. That way it wouldn't be limited to the amount of cards it could use. It would just be limited to who it can cast the cards on. And I think that is already way better. I also don't think they need to be buffed, really. Like, I think keeping all the minions as they are now is fine. We just need to be able to control them. At least having the pass button I think would be great. However, the strongest minion we ever get is the level 75 minion for each school. And I think that's cool. However, after a certain point, they're just getting one shot a lot of the times. So I think getting a new minion every 25 or 30 levels would be really cool. So get one at 75, then get another one at 100, get another one at 125, get another one at 150, get another one at 175, even though that's not a thing in the game yet. But just have them incrementally get stronger, so you always have an option for a minion. But yeah, those are just kind of my ideas and my thoughts on it. Minions are kind of in that weird spot where they're like not unusable, but they're definitely hurting you more than they're helping you. I'd like to know what everyone else thinks, and if there's a mechanic you wish had more love, leave a comment with your favorite, underworked mechanic and what you would do to fix it. I want to know what you guys think. I think if we want Wizard 101 to change for the better, we just need to be vocal about what we don't like about it. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. But yeah, that's it. See you later.